Thank you, Michael. It is a pleasure for me to introduce our senior speaker, Jonathan Richter. Jonathan has enjoyed a truly impressive career in the upper school here at King. A review of his transcript is more than impressive. In fact, I have rarely seen a student challenge him or herself quite so consistently or powerfully. Over his 4 years in the upper school, Jonathan took 10 honors and 9 AP courses. During his senior year, there is nothing on his transcript that does not include the AP designation. He was inducted into the Cum Laude Society as a junior. He has earned a STEM graduation distinction. This interest in STEM leaps from his transcript with courses like AP Chem, AP Physics, 2 AP Computer Science classes, BC Calculus, Honors Research and Development, C++ Programming, Aeronautics, and there is more. What is simple to see is that Jonathan has an intellectual prowess and a focus and a passion that all of us can really hold up as an example. And finally, on this subject, you should know that I did search Jonathan's full transcript for a grade below the A level, and I spent a little bit of time doing that and had absolutely no luck. Jonathan certainly made the most of his academic opportunities here at King. He left absolutely no stone unturned. He is a true scholar. And as exhausting as this academic life sounds, and it does sound absolutely exhausting, it would be unfair for me to limit my remarks to this corner of Jonathan's life, as he is truly a multi-talented and multi-involved individual. For example, this year he was captain, Fairchester All-League, All-New England, and most valuable of the varsity cross-country team. Cross-country is a challenging, demanding sport, and to lead and succeed at this level is rare. In fact, Jonathan's commitment to cross-country was long and meaningful, running all 4 years, winning the Coaches Award for 2 years, and actually earning All-New England status for both junior and senior year. And as if this is not enough, Jonathan found the time to be involved substantively in so many different areas, among them debate, service, math competitions. 2 comments from people that know him very well. Tom Castonguay, the STEM coordinator, said the following of Jonathan. The phrase, "fire in the belly," comes to mind when I think of Jonathan. From the very beginning, it was clear that I was in the presence of an extraordinary individual. Mark Lingle, up on stage with us, one of his cross-country coaches, says, "I have been privileged to know a few strong athletes who are wonderful individuals, full of intelligence, integrity, humor, courage, and grace. Jonathan is in that group." An enduring memory of Jonathan would be this fall, when I ran into him in the hall of the upper school at about 6 p.m. one day. He had just returned from a visit to the Sikorsky plant, where students had taken tours of and actually manipulated the controls of some pretty big, complicated helicopters. His enthusiasm and excitement at what he had learned and experienced was visceral. It was palpable. It was clear to me at that moment that this is a young man that loves to learn, not just for grades or for acknowledgement, but because it thrills him. Learning just thrills him. That is essential for true scholarship. It is a pleasure for me to welcome Jonathan Richter to the stage.
Sorry about that. Very long gown, and these caps, as Nisha ran into, are very hard to negotiate these days. Gotta talk to the supplier of that company. All right, so thank you very much, Mr. Main, for that introduction. And I just have a couple things I want to say. There are a few people that I need to thank and that I think the class of 2017 needs to thank, so let me just get started. And this tassel is going to fly in my face. We'll see how that works out. On the behalf of the class of 2017, I want to thank all the faculty. We are grateful for your insight and thankful for your tolerance. Thank you to all the parents in the room. You have survived years, as Nisha put it, with teenage sons and daughters. That is not easy to do. Thank you to all the siblings in the room, brothers and sisters. You have made it this far without that cell phone. You only have to last a little bit longer in this tent. So I was going to say at this point, this hot and annoying tent, but we actually have a really good day. We are blessed to be at 65 degrees and sunny. It's a very good thing. My next note on the agenda is, I don't know about you, but I was really tired of sitting in that chair. So if everyone wants to stand up, stretch out, class 20, you want to stretch those legs really quickly, I know I want to. I'm going to take a quick stretch for a break. And when you're all set and done, we can sit back down and get going on. Good? Good? All right. It is an honor to be speaking here today. I started writing this speech with no guidance whatsoever. I was very lucky to be appointed to this position as class speaker, but no one told me what I had to say. So I did what any other student would do in this situation. I went onto Google and typed in, what do class speakers say? And I hope I found an answer suitable to you all. So let's go into the mission statement stuff. I'm going to build off of Nisha here. Part of King's mission statement is to prepare its students to thrive in a rapidly changing world. So to thrive in this rapidly changing world, we must be able to, of course, rapidly change our views, skills, and knowledge. As we can tell in the world of technology, we have to change quickly. Well, when I see rapidly changing world, I really just see that as an extravagant way of saying think fast. Can you think on your feet and can you move quickly? So whoever wrote that on the website, they did a great job making something as simple as think fast sound very complicated. So I wanted to see, could the class of 2017 really think fast? I did some research, that's what's in the speech. And I first wanted to do a quick test. So Nisha, can you really think rapidly changing world for me? There we go. Good. Thinking fast on the feet. So, as I planned this speech, I realized that we really have changed rapidly. And I think that we are ready for that rapidly changing world. I'm going to give you a couple examples, and then that's really up for you all in the class to make that decision. Are we ready? So, during our middle school graduation, Mr. Walker, the former head, could only use one positive word to describe our class, and that was spirited. Sit back and think for what that means, what we did. He chose this because we managed to acquire a rap sheet a mile long. We have come a long way over the years, not only growing a foot or two in height, outsizing the shoes, which I found out late last night was a problem, but expanding our view of ourselves and the world. This was certainly true for me. If you came back in 8th grade, I would not be anywhere close to this podium. You'd find me underneath that stairwell playing Minecraft, deeply entrenched in its cult-like culture. Jeez, excuse me there. Moving on. Get away from that. None of us have stayed the same. Though we are not the celebrated sesquicentennial class, and yes, I also had to work on that word, Mr. Conhini, we are the 151st graduates from King. We now present that next chapter, especially in alumni giving, and we are one of the most respected and highest achieving classes in our school's history. Instead of fighting in the hallways, we take our aggression out on the field, where football won New England's and lacrosse won FAA's. Yes, Mr. Conini stepped on me there a little bit. On an individual level, we have a group of outstanding athletes who will be pursuing their sports at college this year. As someone who really can't do good sports, that's why I run. Easy, right? We have Kara Shatton, who has led the volleyball team to, I think, 3 years of undefeated seasons. I can't keep track. There's something like in the 150 range of wins. 2 years of FAs in New England. And she will be heading to West Point next year, where she'll be playing volleyball. Again, a round of applause. Sean Hayes is 4th in the world in rowing under 18 and will be rowing at Harvard. Sophie Perez will be rowing at UPenn. Cole Dorsey at GW. And even though I once sailed with Bron Brackman, it didn't hurt him too much. He is currently ranked #1 in the world for under 18 after his victory in Malaysia last year and will be sailing at Tufts. Kelly Catano is swimming for Bucknell, and even though I can't get that bottle of water in the garbage can from 10 feet away, Trey Cannavaro shot over 1,000 career basketball points and will be playing for Muhlenberg next year. So when we entered the upper school, we each had our own personal ambitions. They were as simple as getting those annoying lockers open, always turn one past the combo, guys, or as complicated as surviving Mr. Cusack's freshman geometry course. We have all faced our own challenges. As we progressed up the food chain, we matured. Our mindset changed from personal to community, and in addition to surviving for our own success, we began to think about our surroundings. Personally, it was important to me to see that debate club thrived. Others strive to improve Model UN, the dress code, or simply arguing for and removing yucca fries. Thank you, Peter. We grew up. Instead of selling Red Bull and Gatorade out of lockers, J.D. Hawks and Richard Gervais' investment club strategies have led to King winning the stock market challenge for the past 2 years. Instead of leaving the art room a mess, we have celebrated Sidney Gumner's, Emily Solomon's, and Susie Savage's national and regional art awards. Through these accomplishments, we have learned that we are stronger together. Instead of trashing the Hartford Science Museum, a low point in middle school, we have expanded our horizons into the world of technology. If you've been on campus in the past 2 months, you would have seen Jack Tulloch zipping around on his homemade electric skateboard because, quote, why buy one when you can build one for half price and then have King pick up the tab? You would have also heard about how Will Nash beat out over 10,000 other students to become number 2 in the world in physics. Round of applause is in order. These achievements, while amazing, don't necessarily equate to dollar signs and a livable income. But I am so glad to say that King graduates today are ready to become functioning members of society. We're at $10 an hour. Thank you, Dan Malloy. We can easily repay our repay our King tuition, and then start on those college loans. We're really set up for success there. While some of us are up the creek, there are a few who have already created profitable professions. Will Millerchip is hired to create professional films for snowboarders and skiers. So he's got to go down the side of a very steep hill holding a very expensive piece of camera equipment and then great footage. I can't pull that off. Austin Albano runs a DJing business, and Carter Borchetta uses his drone to film all the wonderful website aerial footage, which they did rip off from him. They didn't say it was by him. It's just King's now. We have learned through our academic, athletic, and business pursuits is that other people are around not just to help out. This isn't just a transaction. We have come together as a community, celebrating our victories and supporting each other through adversity. Rather than being dragged to sing in front of the elderly as we were in middle school, we have dedicated time to actual volunteer work. Logan Katz is sponsored, let's think about this for a second, sponsored to play video games. That's a great job right there. And has nearly raised almost $2,000 for veterans organizations. And Samantha Ehlers uses her knowledge and skill with horses at the charity Pegasus to provide special needs children with the freedom of movement which they do not normally have. Over the years, and this is where I'm going to contrast with Nisha here, whether or not we like it or not, we have become a family, even if Facebook says we're only friends. Yes, it's sappy, but it's the truth. We have our fair share of family feuds, but at the end of the day, we're all going to miss this. And I know right now, one of my classmates, maybe even Nisha, is saying that that's a load of bull. I can't wait to get away from all these people and away from Jonathan's junk speech. But I'd like to wager otherwise. Even that person, Nisha, will look back on King and realize what they had. So here's the wager. Nisha, 20 big bucks says that in 5 years from now, you're going to come back and look at what you had in a positive light. We can use Facebook to keep track of that and make sure I check up on this whole endeavor. So at the end of the day, there won't be another class of 2017. Not just because calendar years don't repeat, but because we provided a unique dynamic to the school. Rambunctious and destructive at times, but overall positive and hopefully uplifting. So at the end of the day, are we ready to think fast? I hope so, but that's not for me to decide. I've laid out all the facts to this point. It is really up to everyone here, the class of 2017, to find out if we can think fast. So as Neil deGrasse Tyson said, it's let's make America, not great, but smart again. And to the class of 2017, it is time to walk proudly into the future, the known and unknown, because it is ours to be explored and claimed. Thank you.